For more, let's bring in David Smith, the Guardian's Washington bureau chief, and he is following all things Trump today. Of course, we are a day or so away from the official one-year anniversary of the inauguration of Donald Trump as president. David, always good to have you with us here. The likelihood, do you think, of a government shutdown at midnight tonight? What do you make of this?
The White House is saying about 50-50. I fear it may be more like 75-25 in favor of a shutdown at the moment. There does seem to be a stalemate that is very hard to break. The House passed a resolution last night, and they seem to be heading home. So it's up to the Senate to decide this. And really, at the heart of it is the fate of hundreds of thousands of young, undocumented immigrants. From the Democratic point of view, it's time to resolve that issue once and for all. And they're under a lot of pressure from their own base of activists and progressive groups. From the Republican point of view, they're making the argument, you're holding the entire nation hostage for a bunch of illegal immigrants, and they're not shifting either. So as things stand, it's looking pretty bleak for government funding.
And who will shoulder the blame here if the government actually shuts down?
There's an opinion poll showing that more people are going to blame the Republicans and Donald Trump than the Democrats by I think about 20 percentage points. Clearly, the parties themselves will point the finger at each other. However, it's a tough one for Republicans because this will actually be the first time ever in American history there has been a shutdown when one party is in the White House and controls the House and the Senate. I think a lot of people will point the finger at them and point the finger at the president himself.
We are hearing reports as well that Trump has canceled plans to travel to Florida, and I wonder whether that also speaks to the severity of the situation.
Yes, it would have been very disastrous optics for him, I think, if he was seen flying off today to his luxury private estate, Mar-a-Lago in Florida, the so-called Winter White House. Tomorrow is the first anniversary of his inauguration, and a lavish gala to celebrate is planned. Tickets have been going for starting at $100,000 per couple. For that, you get dinner and an autograph from the president. I would think he'll certainly try to keep that fundraising event on if he can, but it's very awkward timing, to say the least, that he's marking 1 year in office, barreling towards a government shutdown.
One other thing, too, David, just to get your read on, the pressure on some Democrats from the left, people in the Democratic Party who are so angry with the Trump presidency, so angry with the Republican Party, that they are putting a lot of pressure on so-called moderate Democrats, saying, don't make a deal, no matter what, don't make a deal with this White House.
And that's a preview, I think, of what we're going to see in the midterm elections this year, where moderate mainstream Democrats will have challenges from the left. And then, of course, it'll be fascinating, the presidential election in 2020. Will it be another Hillary Clinton-type figure who's more mainstream, or will there be someone from the very active, liberal, progressive left, which, as we've seen on the right wing of politics as well, they're often noisier and more energized, and the Trump presidency has brought this to a head. It's a tough spot for Senate Democrats, whether to work with Trump or just to vehemently oppose him. And we've also seen it in some calls for Trump's impeachment, which the Democratic leadership are resisting so far. But as you can imagine, many on the left are eager to see that happen as well.
David Smith, correspondent for The Guardian newspaper in Washington. Great to have you with us as always, David. Thanks for making the time for us.
Thank you.